Mindset Mixtape. I am your host Lanija, and today we have amongst us Sajan Panchal. Hello, welcome to the show, Sajan.
Hi, excited to be here.
So, just a quick background on Sajan. He is a 2020 MBA graduate from Simon Business School. He's currently working as a senior operations manager at Amazon Pathways. So, let's get started. I do have a few questions lined up for you. So, tell me, Sajan, what led you to pursue your MBA in the United States?
Got it. So I'm originally from India. I studied mechanical engineering in my undergrad. I started my career as a design engineer, and then I pivoted to sales side of the engineering. And after working for 3 years, I wanted to do something different. So I took on a very interesting role, and I started a cross-functional team in one of India's largest media organization. And after having worked for 5 years, I was really missing on management skill sets, which I wanted to work on. So I decided to pursue an MBA from United States, and I did my MBA from Simon Business School, which is in Rochester, New York.
That's exciting. But tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to leave your perfectly comfortable life back home in India and pursue your MBA here.
Yeah, having worked for 5 years in India, like all my mentors had an MBA and they were in a senior management position or a middle level management position.
Mhm.
And I noticed they had skill sets in terms of leading larger organizations or larger teams, and
Mhm.
that is something I was missing
Mm.
in my career. So I really wanted to close the gap in from that skill set perspective. So that's
Mhm.
something that really pushed me to pursue their career trajectory and go on to the MBA route.
Yep. And I'm sure that there are many students here now in India who are also planning a same career trajectory as you did. So, what kind of mindset should such students have?
Yeah. So the mindset everyone should have in mind pursuing MBA is that it is definitely going to be a challenging experience, and there are definitely going to be things which are unpredictable along the journey. You got to keep in mind that long term it's going to work out and you will end up in a really good company with a really good position because MBA helps you get to that level.
Yep, definitely. Now we are going to shift our gears and talk a little bit more about your recruitment process here at Simon Business School. So, just for the folks, Sargent graduated in the year 2020, which was also the year of COVID, and most of the classes were happening online, almost 50% of it. So, how did you navigate the recruitment cycle then?
Got it. So I started my So, for folks who do not know, MBA is generally a 2 year full time program. After the first year, you do an internship, which is a 3 month full time position at an organization where basically you
Mm-hmm.
learn a lot about the company and also the role you are going to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And after those 3 months, you either end up getting a return offer and then you go back to the school, pursue one more year of MBA, and then you get a full time offer. So, for me, the journey started really well, but then become challenging real quick.
Yep.
I did my internship with a company called Cargill, where I was working as a strategic pricing analyst kind of a position. I did that internship for 3 months, and then I worked a year virtually whilst also doing my MBA. So I was very comfortable in terms of they were going to give me a full-time offer after I graduate. So I was kind
Yep.
of relieved the entire second year and enjoying the MBA life. But then COVID came, and a lot of companies, including Cargill, they changed their policies and they were no longer sponsoring. And being an international student, you do not get an offer if the company is not willing to sponsor. So that became a turning point for me after 2 years. So I had to start from square one. I had to go back and start my recruiting all over again. So my journey was definitely a roller coaster of emotions. I want to say started really well, but then I had to go back and start all over after 2 years.
Yep. I think a lot of our students in my current batch can, to an extent, resonate to it because the job market in 2024 has been exhaustive as well. So, what advice do you have for the students who are graduating this year and are going through recruitment cycles even in Spring B?
Got it. I would say three things that come to my mind is first, you got to be very aggressive.
Hmm.
What I mean by that is you should be willing to talk to a lot of people. Even let's say you're
Absolutely.
looking for a job in Amazon,
Hmm.
you should constantly be finding people to have conversations with. And through this, you learn a lot about the company, you learn a lot about the position, and if they like you, they might end up giving you a referral, and that's
Mm.
like the first step towards getting a job.
Yep.
So being aggressive is very important first. The second is being flexible. What I mean by that is you are not always going to get what you wished in the first place. When I came to US and got on my MBA journey, I really wanted to be a management consultant,
Yeah.
and I pursued that path for 2 years.
Mhm.
But after 2 years, I was not able to land a job in consulting, so I had to switch gears and start looking at other industries and functions as well. So you got to be flexible in terms of be open to what's out there. And the third is, I want to say, being persistent. Like you you will pursue a specific function, you will not get it, you will switch gears and you will start all over again.
Yep.
You just got to keep at it, keep doing at it for multiple, probably companies, multiple positions, and all you're looking for is a one offer.
Yep.
And that first offer might come from the first person you speak to, or that might be the 100th person that you speak to.
Yep.
But you just got to keep at it until someone gives you an offer, and then your journey ends there. At least the recruitment journey ends there.
Definitely. But tell me a little bit more about the emotional aspect of it. It is emotionally draining to go through
Yes.
the entire process, to say the least.
Yes.
And on top of it, you also have to handle your academics.
Yes.
So, how did you navigate that roadblock?
Got it. So for me, what worked out well was not being siloed in this whole process, not thinking that I'm on this journey myself.
Mhm.
You have a lot of your classmates who are on the same journey with you. So the thing that worked out best for me is I was fortunate enough to found a support group kind of. We were like 10 or 15 students after graduation who were still looking for a job.
Mhm.
So we did not siloed ourselves and we were looking for the journey on ourselves. We were meeting on frequent basis. We would meet like twice or thrice a week, and we would discuss how all of us are progressing in finding a job. So we would share our best practices. We would share what things have worked for someone, what things have not worked for someone,
Mhm.
and we were constantly learning from each other, and we improved our approach as we went through. And luckily, all of us found a job somewhere.
Yep, that's the beauty of it, right? You keep at it, and finally you get what you want. Now let's shift gears again and focus on your post graduation life here in Rochester. So, a lot of us will be graduating this summer, and in your experience, what are some of the mistakes that recent graduates make in terms of personal finance and their daily habits that might become strainful with respect to paying off their student debt
Yes.
or becoming secure financially?
Yes. So some things I've seen, like the biggest mistake I've seen a lot of my friends from my MBA class make is the first is the moment they get their first job, which is basically a six-figure salary.
Mhm.
The first thing they do is they immediately inflate their lifestyle. They're getting a fancy car, they're moving into a fancy apartment, because they think that they have made it to this beautiful career which is going to pay well.
Mhm.
But as we have all seen, the markets change very frequently year after year,
Mm.
and you do not know what is coming out for you.
Yeah,
So you might have a good job in a great company, but that company might be impacted by something that's happening in the market, and now
absolutely.
you are back to square
Square
one
one.
looking for a job. So you gotta save for those unfortunate events that are to come. So
Mhm.
people spend a lot after they get a good job. They don't save enough
Yeah.
because they think everything's going to be okay moving
Uh-huh.
forward, but there are always ups and downs.
Absolutely. That's so well put. Um, Moving on, I do have one question that most of my batchmates have. That is, while doing a coffee chat, how how does the person at the other end perceive? So, what are some of the mistakes that students going into a coffee chat makes?
Yeah. I would say let's break down that process in three steps. The first thing is all of us use LinkedIn as a tool to reach out to other people in the industry. The first thing is basically sending a connection invite. And some mistakes people make is they would just send an invite, but in LinkedIn, if you look at it, there is an option that is to add a note. Now that is a perfect opportunity for you to sell yourself
Mhm.
in 140 words. So a lot of people miss out on that opportunity. They're just simply shooting the invite options, and on the other end, like if I don't know someone and I just get an invite and I don't see a note or anything, like it's very difficult for us to like relate to that candidate.
Mm.
So that is one mistake that they make. The second is not doing enough research. So like reaching out to the wrong people sometimes.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I've had instances in which someone would reach out to me and be like, "Hey, I'm really interested in pursuing a career in finance,
Uh-huh.
and I see you have a great experience. So, can we have a chat?"
Mm.
Now, I never had a job in finance. I've never
Yeah.
worked in finance, so it clearly says that they did not do that enough research.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you are wanting someone to spend 30 minutes with you on a call. So, you want them to take 30 minutes off their life and spend with you,
Mm-hmm.
but you do not have 30 seconds to like quickly check their profile. Like that would be a bigger mistake someone makes. And the third step is like when you get on a call with someone,
Uh-huh.
the biggest mistake I see people making is not asking the relevant questions. So
Absolutely.
I'll give you a few examples on that. The first is asking questions which have like a one word response. Like I would often get asked like, "Hey, how is your experience at Amazon?" And I would
Mm.
respond by saying, "Hey, it's great." So now they're not getting any value out of me by asking that question. What they could have done is they could ask something like, "Hey, what are the best three things that you have experienced at Amazon? Or what are three challenges you are facing at Amazon?" That would be a better question to ask. The other example I would give is asking irrelevant question. Like someone asked me recently, "Hey, how many square foot is your Amazon facility?" Now I don't know how that's going to help that candidate land a job, knowing what square foot it is. And the second is I do not know how much square feet it is. So it puts me in an awkward position.
Yeah, definitely.
So you don't want to ask something that you might feel like the other person doesn't know. So ask questions which kind of give you a good response and makes the other person talk a little bit more.
Mhm.
I would say that all of us working in industries, the one thing that everyone loves to do is talk about themselves and
Yeah.
brag about themselves. So ask questions which makes the other person talk a lot more about their experiences.
Definitely. I think that's the goal. Okay. So thank you for answering all the questions, Sajin. Now let's move on to rapid fire round. Just a call out. You won't have time to think about it. It's just a yes or no answer. No explanation required.
Let's bring it.
Okay. Let's get started. Consulting is overrated.
Yes.
Okay. Simon Business School experience is worth it.
Yes.
Mhm. Rochester winters are bearable.
Yeah.
Okay. Communications and structured problem solving is one of the most important classes that you have taken.
No.
No. Networking is overrated.
No.
Was MBA journey more challenging than you expected it to be?
Yes.
Finding a spouse in business school is much more easier than finding one in a dating
Yes.
app. Speaking from personal experience, I guess.
Yes.
Now rate these three aspects in the order of one to three, depending on the prioritization of your time. First is socials, which is basically the club activities that Simon has to offer. Second, academics, and last, recruitment.
Recruitment, socials, academics.
Got it. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you everyone for tuning in to Mindset Mixtape and stay tuned for the rest of the season.